Okay ladies, good morning. We had a real technical hitch, so what we're trying to do is work out the best thing to do. So I started working out when I was in my early 20s. I've never been a runner. I'm now doing a real good précis. I've never been a runner, and I've always done faddish things for a few years and moved on. So my first exercise I did properly was probably Calinetics, which I did. We've got a machine here now, let's go in here. Was Calinetics, and that is a kind of form of using your body and the energy in your body and the tension of your body to do exercises. And I did that, and they were quite difficult exercises. And I said the story, which I've got to say again, that I remember being in a room and having my back against the wall and putting my legs up in the air, which was impossible for me to do now, and seeing opposite me a woman of about 45 and thinking, my God, she's so old and she can do it. I must do it when I'm her age. Here I am. So I then went on to Lottieberg Studio, which was a form of Calinetics, did that for a few years, and then I went and started Pilates. And I've done Pilates on and off for about 20 years, and I started teaching under a lovely man called Avi, who'd learned under Joseph Pilates in New York. So he did this real classic Pilates, and so I got all the knowledge of how to hold my core in and hold my body quite early on, and that's really helped me through everything. Then I kind of didn't do anything for a while. Then I toyed with yoga for 2 minutes, but it's never been my exercise because I can't do those poses and hold those poses. I occasionally have done it on holiday with girlfriends, but I've always felt this is not me. You've got to find the exercise that's you, that's your body, that helps you mentally and physically. And then I got into Pilates again, and I started doing it, something called 10 Pilates, which was a really manic form of Pilates, a lot of it on the reformer, and using the reformer, kind of doing a lot of very much speedier exercises, and it gave me an amazing body. But I did have to have a few years later a disc replaced in my neck, and that's probably because I overdid it. And then I had a woman once who showed me how to have a good shaped leg. I always disliked my legs. I felt they were kind of untoned and didn't have a good shape. And I was in a shoe shop, and she overheard me saying, "I'd like these shoes, but I never really liked my shoes, my legs in any shoes." She said, "I could give you great legs." So she came for a year and she worked with me, and she taught me one or two things I still do today. But she was slightly mad, and so I kind of knew she was good, but she was also a bit mad, and you had to do 100 of everything you did, and it was like, oh, please, I don't have to try. But she did teach me this really good one, which is called the peeing dog, which I'll show you later. So then I went back to Pilates, which I do now, and a month ago I started to walk again. I've always walked, and I love walking. I cannot run for more than 2 minutes. So when I walk, it's very important for me that I walk fast and that I walk with my hips in a straight line. So if you imagine these are traffic lights, some people kind of walk and they'll do this and they'll move their hips. Everyone walks differently, but it's really important to imagine there's two train lights in front of your train, and you've got to keep them facing forward. So that's very important for your hips. And then feel the tension in your core. So really feel that muscle there, and tense it up, and that's kind of quickest way to sort of say that's your core. And then I start off, I get in the park, I have 2 water bottles. They probably weigh half a kilo each, they're not heavy. You can get little gloves. I went through a phase of having gloves which had weights in them, but I kind of want to drink water and for my workout to get easier later, so I do this. And I just start off, get in the park, and I start really reaching forward with my arms and pulling. It's like I'm pulling my bottom forward. And then I'll do 10 of those, and then I'll do 10 up like that. But I'm still feeling here, I'm not just doing floppity joggity Lisa Cutler and friends. I'm really striding, and I'll do up like this. And I think I walk fast. Poor Victoria, who is sort of running backwards. I think I've always walked fast, and it's been a bit of an issue in my life because I end up walking in front of people, and I kind of get lost in my thoughts. I always say, why do you not wait for me? ginger. And on ginger, we would skip. We're going to go the other way now, Victoria, because then we'll go up to the pagoda. So on ginger, she'd skip. And then we had to do it in all different accents, which will be really embarrassing for me to do now, because you're all from different places around the world. But I would then go to Australia and I'd go, tonight, she was tall, she was thin, she was fair, and her hair was a delicate colour of ginger. And then I'll go to France, I guess. She was tall, she was thin, she was fair, and her hair was a delicate colour of ginger. I'll go to Germany. I'll go, this is just what I did. So she was tall and she was thin, she was fair, and her hair was a delicate colour of ginger. So we do all the nationalities, and I do this with Lila, but it made me walk fast. And so I think for me, that pace is important, because this is a pace that, depending on what I'm listening to in my iPods, is the mood I'll be in. So if I feel I haven't connected with the world, I'll put on a news program, Radio 4 in England, which is kind of got something called the Today program, and I'll listen to that. Some of the shows, some of the topics I'm not that interested in, others is news, and otherwise I'll do music. I don't have a playlist. I would love somebody to send me a good playlist, because I'm really bad with music. My first record was Engelbert Humperdinck and Carole King Tapestry, and I've gone downhill since then. So I'm doing my 10 up in the air. 1, 2, 3, looking straight ahead. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then arms out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Really feel you're clenching your bum and bring it forward. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then arms out to the side. 1. And keep the arm, you're not flopping with the arm, you're keeping that arm quite tentative, your shoulders back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now you hit a bench and you do something. So that's my motivation. I know the layout of the park, and I think to myself, okay, I've got a bench, I'll do one of 3 things. One thing I'll do is to do an exercise for my arms, which is like a bench press, and I can do it in the bathroom too if it's cold, but I always make sure that I keep my butt straight down here, and I don't do that because I want to have the right angle, and I make sure always that my arms are back, my elbows are not like that, they're behind me, and then I'll do 10 just normal like that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then I'll put one leg out, still try and keep my butt against the wall. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Any questions?
They say they love your... Do you do your walk every morning?
I have been doing it 5 days a week at the moment, because I felt the need to do some exercise and to get fit, because I hadn't been doing anything. I'll probably cut it down to 3 later, but I'm going to go on holiday for 10 days in 2 weeks, a bit over 2 weeks, and I just want to be fit for it. Okay, as if you visited another bench, and we're now going to go up and do step-ups. And when you do your step-ups, put your arms up, keep your butt straight, don't faffy around, and keep your eye on something diametrically opposite you, so you keep your balance. So we do 1 and up and down. Keep the right leg first. 3. Do them quite quickly. Find the right height where you're challenging yourself. And this stone bench is great because I don't feel it's going to wobble. And then we're going to go here. 3. I think it's important to breathe. It's something I've always been very bad at. So I always have to remind myself to breathe. Really breathe, and I can smell seaweed here. Okay. So I'm going to pull the rope again, and before I was pushing, now I'm pulling. And when I'm pulling, there's a tendency that my hips want to do that more. So I want to just try and keep them straight. But feel, you know, if you had a 2 kilo weight here or half a kilo, I think it does the same thing because it's all about tension you put in your arm as you pull it back. So I really put tension in there. And I clench my butt, and I walk tall, and I really lift up my feet. So there's a big difference between my doing that and between my doing that. But that's a key part for me. Walking fast, keeping the position correct. All right, now we've got another bench here, so we're going to do something else. So we'll do 2 little butt things. Very simple. My exercise is not simple. I've only got 1 or 2 secret hidden gems. So we're literally going to do butt down, don't sit obviously, bring it up. When you bring it up, really clench your butt in. So coming down, stick it out. Coming up, clench in there and feel that little butt cheek is clenched. It's a man. Any questions?
So Sue says, what gives you the motivation to get out of bed to exercise?
Well, that's a tough one. What gave me the motivation today is thinking, I promised you guys I would do it. Sometimes I will have to set the alarm, other times I'll be up about 10 minutes before. And I think it's just thinking, for a second, why do I want to do this? It's easier to turn over the blanket and say, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. But then it's another day of thinking, I'll do it tomorrow. And I probably had too many days of that. I probably had 6 months of that. So you've got to hit some kind of rock bottom where you think, I need to do something. And then when you're lying in bed thinking, oh, to get into the park, if you have a park near you, is really easy. I live across the park, walk here, get in, and I'm done, and the weather's nice, great. If it's raining, it's inside your house, that I think is a harder motivation. So I'm going to show you when we're here. The exercise from the mad Barbara woman who said, I will give you good legs, but I will also give you a waist, right? And it's such a weird little exercise, but it's a very good one, and you just have to do it correctly. So you kind of have your body slightly bent, and I'm going to just show you here, sorry, I'll do it here, So you bend your knees slightly, and you put your arm right in the air and make sure that your hand is behind your head, it's not in front like that. And then you lean over, still looking up. And then when you're leaned over like that, you want to not push your arm down, but you want to pull it out of its socket like that, and you're working on that muscle. And keep your legs bent, pull it, pull it, pull it, and you're going to do 100 like this, and feel that muscle pull. Make sure that you're not leaning forward too much. Really have a sense that your legs are bent and you're pulling it out. 6, 7, 8. Ask your questions.
Bessa asking, how many hours do you often sleep?
6 or 7.
That's a lovely park. Where is it?
Battersea. So you've done 20. Once you've done 100, I've done 50. Then you come out of it by bending down. Don't come straight out of it, because you'll do your neck in. Because when you go into this position and you're lifting up, you mustn't just then stand up like that. So it's important that you've bent your legs, you've gone up in the thing, you go over and you pull your arm out of its socket to get that muscle.
Becky's asking, do you run?
No, I don't. Because I find that I'm not a runner. I think if you're a runner, I'm so kind of in awe of runners because I don't have the puff, and I never have. And although I've on and off smoked, terrible thing to admit, but it's life, that stopped me from perhaps having the puff. And I get, I'll show you what I do because it's important to have cardio. I'm going to do it now. Walking backwards is a good thing. You've got to make sure who's behind you, but really stretch out your leg. Do a bit of walking backwards. I will try and put a fast pace in my park routine, so I'm going to run up and down some steps now at the pagoda. But I think if you can do something where you change your pace, that's great. Many of you might have a trainer, and it's like talking to kindergarten here. But I'm talking to those women who feel half motivated and want to be more motivated. And does it make me more tired to get up an hour earlier? No, it doesn't actually. It makes you feel better. Okay, so we've got here the little step challenge. And one of my incarnations was a lovely guy who used to work me out in the park for a year called Dave. And I used to go back to him every few years for a few months. And then I couldn't deal with it anymore. He was such a tough taskmaster. But he always made me run upstairs. So you're in the park, you're not a runner, do this just to get the cardio. Really quick step motions. And then come down a bit slowly. And just challenge yourself, like each day. You know, if the first day you just can do 2, start with 2. And then move up, because for runners, they'll be up and down here like little jack-in-the-boxes. But for me, I'm still feeling. I've only been doing this for a month, so I'm already really out of breath. Just to show you that I don't have a runner figure.
Jennifer's asking where your workout clothes from.
I am in Axis shoes, Sweaty Betty leggings, a bra from, I can't do anymore. I can't stop. Keep going, I'm just showing you things. And Sweaty Betty. I'm very happy also for you to ask me some skin questions, ladies. If you wish, just to take my mind off what I'm doing. But if you're working out with me in the park, then let's do our arms again. Do 10 forward.
Anita says she's working out in her living room.
Fantastic, Anita. Push those bottles up, darling. 9, 10. Keep that butt clenched. Out to the side.
Jennifer's asking, are you wearing SPF?
Yes, I am. I'm wearing SPF 30 Helio Care. And that's the extent of my makeup. Not the makeup one. So what have I done now? I've done those. Okay, let's do some more. But no, I'm going to do some stand-ups. Stand-ups again. Wouldn't you like to get to work on that? That's London Clipper. And if I live down there and I worked in the city, what a great way to get to work. Even nicer if they offered you a nice little coffee and croissant. Just looking at that beautiful view every morning, it'd be fantastic. Well, do 10 on each side, whoever is with me, in their living room or in the park.
Karen's asking, what are the good products to waken tired eyes?
To waken tired eyes. An inexpensive product is probably going to be Erborian aloe vera and witch hazel. It's in a little stick, and I love it as a product. I think it's great. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to do a little exercise here. It's just that kind of sitting lunge. So I'm just going to put my foot here and get my balance and bend. I don't even know if I'm going to bounce. So just bend it away. Yes, I would say that, tired eyes, because you feel the tingle. Sometimes that's what I need, more than the moisture, because my serum can come up and act as an eye cream. I don't believe in an eye cream to hydrate under your eye. I believe in eye creams that take down puffiness or do something that decongest the eye. So yes, I would say that. The other end of the scale is Sizzly. I have a new eye cream which I just got, and it has a kind of gold ball that you rub under your eye, and you might think it's gimmicky, but it's really heavy and it decongests the eye, so it did work very well on my puffy eyes. Now this one I find harder because I have a knee injury on my right, so the weight. The important thing here is going up and down. Don't let your knee go over your toe, and just clench your bum.
Chelsea's asking what products can she purchase whilst using the Derma Roller?
Let's go. You go in front of me, Dan. Perfect. While she's using Derma Roller, I would use a very good serum. And I would sort of say that if you have, darling, is my car key just in there?
Yes.
If you have, I don't know what serums you have. I quite like to do a sort of peel. So I actually do my Derma Roller. My routine is I put my Derma Roller on my face and then I put my peel from Julia Hunter. Then I Derma Roll a bit more and then I put another layer of peel on. Then I put my vitamin A serum from her and night regeneration. And that generally, on and off for the last 2 years, has been my nighttime routine, interspersed with things I'm trying. So when I feel my skin needs a break from that, I'll still do dermal rolling, and then I might just put a really good oil on. The point of dermal rolling is twofold, if you're talking about the micro needling dermal rolling, because you're going to prick a tiny little hole in your dermis, which will allow product to penetrate deeper, which is great. And you kind of give your skin this sense it's being attacked, so hopefully it will produce some collagen, because we sort of stop producing collagen voluntarily in our 20s and 30s, and when we get past menopause we need estrogen to produce collagen. So, you know, if you're postmenopausal doing dermal rolling, in order to create that collagen you need to somehow be giving your body some estrogen biodynamically, however you choose to. Just an aside. I really went off on a tangent. Other questions, Victoria?
Okay.
Okay, arms, ladies, in the air.
Louise asking any ordinary products that you recommend that she can buy.
I've done quite a few posts on ordinary products, and I think the vitamin C suspension is really good. It's 23% vitamin C suspension. I quite like their primer. I quite like, they have an AHA product I'm trying right now. They've just also got a glycolic toner, which I'm trying right now. They have a rosehip seed oil, which I put in my oil posts. And I did do a post from the DECIEM where I really questioned, some of you said a little bit aggressively, a very nice lady at DECIEM, but she actually really enjoyed herself, I think, and we had a good chat. And there's a lot of information there about the ordinary products. So I'll get that post. All right, next.
Do you recommend Korean skincare?
Yes, I do. I think that, you know, there's quite a few sites. One not called the K Club, but you know, Korean skincare has, in the last 5 to 7 years, been the sort of new thing because they use different ingredients. Because traditionally, Asian skincare or Far Eastern skincare is based on a much bigger routine than a Western routine, and they might do 7 to 10 layers at night. And because of that, it became quite cultish because there was this new attitude towards skincare, and so quite a few products have been brought into England. Shiseido is obviously the first one, and they used to have their different lotions, but that was a Western version of Korean skincare, and it's not Korean, it's Shiseido. It's Japanese, but that whole philosophy. I think they have some really fun niche products too. I think they're quite kitsch, and I think some of them work really well. I like Erborian, and they have a CC HD cream, SPF 30, 35, which I really rate. And they also have their BB sleeping mask, which I love for night. And then I tried the other products in their range, their Royal Ginseng and a few other things, and I didn't rate them. So, like any range, they have some key star hero products, and they have some boring products. That's what I'd say. Yeah.
Okay, great. Any tips for aging neck?
Aging necks. I've got to say, ladies, it's got to be the dermal rolling, because you know, I think we'll stop here. If you, you know, if your neck is saggy, there was a lady who did put a comment up yesterday and said, I've lost a lot of weight and I've got a saggy neck. And I do think that microneedling is good to just give some fight to your neck. I think doing exercises, A-E-I-O-U, I think that's good. Anything to kind of get your neck working, and then when you're sort of 65, it might be you feel the need for a polar neck, but it depends how well you looked after your face compared to your neck. I think just be aware. I think any people who are worried about their neck and go in the sun, whenever you look up into the sun, a lot of people do SPF here and SPF here, and sometimes their neck's forgotten, so really remember your neck. And it's the first thing to me when I was younger that always got burnt, so I have an okay neck, but if I hadn't put it in the sun it'd be a lot better. So no sun. No sun. I always, also not even no sun, if I'm in the sun and I've got SPF on, I'll always actually, if I'm in strong sun, I'll put a scarf around my neck because I just think it's better. Okay, last question, and then Victoria and I have got to get ready for work.
Okay, do you rate bare minerals?
I rate 2 or 3 products. I rate Complexion Rescue, which is a fantastic tinted moisturiser, and it's got a good SPF in it, and it kind of wakes up your skin, not too much coverage, and the best thing about it, I think there's about 20 colours or 24 colours in the range, brilliant. And then they also have a blemish stick, which I used in one of my posts on spots, but it's like a sort of crayon, and you just literally put it on the stick, but it works well. It's got antibacterial properties in it, and it covers the spot. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, ladies, I'm going to say now that that was a kind of, you know, I always feel a bit disconcerted when we have to start our filming again, because I think it's boring for the ladies at the beginning to hear what I've already said, and then I think for anyone joining later, I want them to get the full story. But we tried it, and we did it, and I hope you got something out of it. And we'll see you later. I don't know what we're, later on this week, we're going to post a nice post from this morning, which is about sort of soft tailoring, you can call it, such a boring expression, but actually fantastic separates that you can buy and wear together or in 19 different outfits, so it's going to be a good post. And then I'm off for my sister's son's wedding this weekend, and